Church. I am coming to you today from District Conference in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. We are here having a great time. Lots of pastors, lots of lay delegates are here too, and we're just having a great time. District Conference is always a time that excites me, it energizes me. We get to see what God is doing in some of the other areas in the district and to hear some of those stories, get some vision, get refed, get nourished, worship. It's good stuff. And so there's business sessions in there too, so it's not all fun and games, but we have a great time doing what we're doing. So I thank you for sending me just a real quick snippet of what we are working on lately, the vision that Dan has put before us. Maybe some of you have heard this, but let me see if I can get out of the way of it here. First is the 30. They want to put 30 new kingdom environments, plant 30 new kingdom environments, not intentionally calling them churches, but they could be churches. So that's exciting. Then we also have right here 300 renewed churches. And then finally we have 3,000 developed leaders. That is the goal. It's a big, hairy, audacious goal. I'm excited about it. It's something that gives me energy, and I hope it does you too. And we'll be talking more about that, especially you leadership team, in the time to come. But this video blog is all about questions that have come up in the process for our sermons, and we've been working through the fourfold gospel. This past week we talked about how Jesus is our sanctifier, and I want to thank you again for submitting questions. That helps me to understand where you guys are all at and what you guys would like to hear more of and more about, and helps me fashion and shape those sermons and those messages in a way that hits you where you're at. So I'm thankful for those questions. Keep them coming. No question too small or too big. We'll try to tackle what we can. We can only usually get one a week, but I would love to continue to get more questions from you all. The question we're going to be dealing with this week, as we talked about sanctification last Sunday, is there a difference in the type of sanctification? Are there different types of sanctification around? And the answer is yeah. In fact, sanctification is a 3-stage process. So let me delve into that just a little bit here in the time that we have remaining. We talked mostly about progressive sanctification when we spoke on Sunday. But there are actually 3 types, as I mentioned. The first step is a past stage. It's that position of being clean. It's a little bit different than justification, because justification is our salvation from sin. We're standing before God just as if we've never sinned. But sanctification is that we are clean before God. When we give our lives to Him, we are seen as clean, white as snow. That's because Jesus took that sin on for us, and He has done that already. It's a done deal. It's already happened. It's positional sanctification. Progressive sanctification is what we worked through mostly on Sunday, and that requires a lifetime, really, of change. It's not something that is once and done. It's a progressive moving forward. As we grow in grace, we are gradually but steadily becoming more and more like God's Son, Jesus Christ. He is reshaping us in His image. And it's a daily process of spiritual renewal. We have to continually say yes to Jesus for this to happen. It's not just a once I said yes to Jesus, but we say it again and again and again. This is a reorientation of our desires, our hopes, and our dreams and our goals. Paul calls it in Romans, I think chapter 6, calls it how we have turned from being slaves to our sin, and now we are slaves to righteousness. That's what progressive sanctification is all about. But there's one more piece of sanctification, and you may have heard it in the Romans 8:28 and 29 passage that we talked about, and that is final sanctification. And that is where Paul is talking about the glorification of our bodies. In this final stage of sanctification, we are completely and wholly sanctified. It's in that moment, either when we pass from this earth as believers in Jesus Christ, or when Jesus returns, and we are finally complete, made whole, made perfect, no longer slaves at all, no other piece of sin nature in us one bit, and God has made us whole. That is what final sanctification is all about. Well, I hope that has edified you. I hope that has been helpful in understanding a little bit deeper about what sanctification is all about and the whole process, how it's 3 parts, not just once and done. And I hope, too, that you have some excitement about what God is going to be doing through this vision of the 30, the 300, and the 3,000 that Dr. Dan Scarrow, our superintendent, has put before us. Looking forward to returning and talking with you again this next week about Jesus, our healer, and that'll be a fun Sunday coming up. So I'm looking forward to it, and we'll see you all next Sunday.